If you're expecting your Social Security payment on November 12th, I have good news. It's coming, and I'll tell you exactly what to expect. But there's something else everyone's talking about: Trump's $2,000 stimulus payment that's supposedly happening before the end of the year. Here's what you need to know right now. One of these is absolutely confirmed and hitting your account in 2 days. The other? Well, there's a critical detail buried in this story that changes everything, and it's something most videos won't tell you because it doesn't sound as exciting. I'm going to show you the real payment schedule, the actual facts about this stimulus claim, and most importantly, how to protect yourself from the scams that are already targeting seniors. Because what I'm about to reveal in the middle of this video explains why you need to be very careful about what you believe right now. Let's start with what's actually confirmed. Let's start with what's guaranteed and happening right now. Your November Social Security payment follows a schedule based on your birth date, and understanding this system helps you know exactly when to expect your money. Here's how it works. If you were born between the 1st and 10th of any month, whether that's January 5th, March 8th, or December 3rd, your payment arrives on the second Wednesday of each month. That's November 12th this year, which is just 2 days away. This is your regular monthly benefit, the same amount you received in October. If you were born between the 11th and 20th of the month, your payment comes on the third Wednesday. That's November 19th this year. And if your birthday falls between the 21st and 31st, you'll receive your payment on the fourth Wednesday, which is November 26th, the day before Thanksgiving. Now, there are some important exceptions you need to know about. If you receive SSI, that's Supplemental Security Income, you actually already got your November payment on October 31st. Why? Because November 1st fell on a weekend, so the payment came early. This confuses people every time it happens, but there won't be another SSI payment in November because you already received it in October. You also got paid on November 3rd if any of these situations apply to you. You live outside the United States, you receive both SSI and Social Security retirement benefits, your state pays your Medicare premium, or you filed for Social Security before May 1997. These are special categories that follow a different schedule. So, what amount should you expect? For 2024, the maximum Social Security benefit at full retirement age is $3,822 per month. If you waited until age 70 to retire, the maximum is $4,873. And if you took benefits early at age 62, the maximum is $2,710. But here's the reality. Most people aren't receiving these maximum amounts. The average Social Security benefit right now is about $1,925 per month. That's what the typical retiree is actually seeing in their bank account. One important thing to remember, your November payment does not include the cost of living adjustment that's coming. That COLA increase of 2.5%, which works out to about $48 for the average beneficiary, doesn't start until January 2025. So whatever you received in October is exactly what you'll get in November. If your payment doesn't arrive within 3 business days of your scheduled date, call the Social Security Administration immediately. Sometimes there are issues with overpayments or benefit adjustments that need to be resolved quickly. Now let's talk about what everyone really wants to know: President Trump's announcement about $2,000 stimulus payments. I'm going to give you the facts without hype, because you deserve to know what's real and what's still just a proposal. Here's what actually happened. President Trump posted on his Truth Social account saying, a dividend of $2,000 per person, not including high-income people, will be paid to everyone. He claims this money would come from tariff revenue, taxes the government collects on imported goods coming into America. This isn't the first time this idea has been floated. Back in July, the president proposed a $600 dividend payment. Senator Josh Hawley from Missouri even drafted legislation to make it happen, specifically including seniors on Social Security and disability benefits. Then in August, the amount increased to between $1,000 and $2,000. And now, most recently, he's confirmed the $2,000 amount and says he wants it done before the end of 2025. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was asked about this in an ABC interview this week. Here's what's important. He said he hasn't yet spoken with the president about the specific details of this latest promise. That's a significant statement because it tells us this isn't an active plan being implemented. It's still just an idea being discussed. So what happened to Senator Hawley's legislation from July? It was introduced, but it never moved forward. It didn't get committee hearings. It didn't come up for a vote. That's the reality of how difficult it is to pass major spending legislation, even when one party controls Congress. The president hasn't specified exactly who qualifies as high income for purposes of this payment. Based on previous stimulus rounds during the pandemic, payments typically phased out starting around $75,000 for individuals and $150,000 for married couples. But until actual legislation is written, we don't know if those same thresholds would apply. Here's what would need to happen for this to become real money in your bank account. First, someone in Congress needs to write and introduce a bill. Second, that bill needs to pass the House of Representatives. Third, it needs to pass the Senate, which could face a filibuster requiring 60 votes. Fourth, the president needs to sign it into law. Fifth, the Treasury Department needs to set up a system to process and send these payments. None of those steps have happened yet. There is no bill. There are no committee hearings scheduled. This is a statement from the president, not an active legislative process. Let me be completely honest with you about the challenges this proposal faces, because understanding the reality helps you make smart decisions. First, the timeline problem. The president said this would happen before the end of 2025. That gives us about 6 to 7 weeks. In a normal situation, major spending legislation takes months to pass through Congress. We saw it happen quickly with pandemic relief, but that was declared a national emergency with bipartisan support. This situation is different. Second, the money problem. According to Treasury Department data, tariffs have collected approximately $195 billion so far this year. Now, if every American earning under a certain income threshold received $2,000, that would cost somewhere between $300 billion and $500 billion, depending on where the income cutoff is set and whether children are included. You can see the gap. There's simply not enough tariff revenue to cover these payments right now. Third, and this is something most videos won't tell you, tariffs aren't actually free money for the government. When the government charges taxes on imported goods, companies don't just absorb that cost. They pass it directly to you through higher prices. Think about your last trip to the grocery store. Maybe you noticed certain items cost more than they used to. Part of those increases come from these tariffs. So if you did receive a $2,000 payment funded by tariff revenue, it wouldn't really be new money. It would essentially be giving you back some of what you've already spent through higher prices over the past year. Depending on how much prices have increased in your area and what you buy, you may have already paid more than $2,000 in extra costs. This doesn't mean the payment wouldn't help. $2,000 in your account is still useful money, but it's important to understand where it actually comes from. Let's talk about who would receive this payment if legislation actually passes, based on what the president has said and what happened with previous stimulus payments. According to the announcement, these groups would likely qualify. Seniors receiving Social Security retirement benefits, people on Social Security disability insurance, SSDI, SSI recipients, veterans receiving benefits, and most working Americans earning below the high income threshold. The president specifically said not including high income people, but that threshold hasn't been defined yet. During the pandemic stimulus rounds, payments typically started phasing out at $75,000 for individuals and $150,000 for married couples filing jointly. However, we don't know if Congress would use those same numbers or set different limits. Here's what this payment could mean in practical terms. If you're receiving the average Social Security benefit of $1,925 per month, a $2,000 payment would be more than a full month's worth of income. That's significant money that could help with holiday expenses, pay down debt, or build an emergency fund. For couples where both people receive Social Security, this could potentially mean $4,000 coming your way. That's 2 payments of $2,000 each. For veterans receiving disability benefits, this payment would come on top of your VA benefits without reducing them. And this is important to understand. If it happens, this wouldn't affect or reduce your regular monthly Social Security payments. It would be a one-time payment separate from your normal benefits. Your January Social Security check wouldn't be smaller because you received this stimulus. They're completely separate programs. The key word in all of this is if. Right now, there's no legislation, no timeline, and no certainty. These are the qualifications we might expect based on previous stimulus programs and the president's statements. But until an actual bill is written and passed, these are educated guesses, not confirmed facts. Let me give you practical advice on how to handle this situation wisely. First and most important, do not make financial commitments based on this payment. Don't tell your grandchildren you'll help with their college tuition. Don't book that vacation you've been postponing. Don't commit to major purchases or promise money to family members. This payment is not in your account, and there's no guarantee it ever will be. I know that sounds harsh, but I care more about protecting you from disappointment and financial mistakes than I do about keeping you excited. Second, and this is critical, protect yourself from scams. As soon as there's talk about stimulus money, scammers start calling. They pretend to be from Social Security or the Treasury Department. Here's what you need to know, and please share this with every senior you know. No legitimate government agency will ever call you asking for your Social Security number or bank information to process a stimulus check. They won't ask you to verify your information to receive payment. They won't charge you a fee to process your payment faster, and they absolutely will not threaten you if you don't provide information immediately. If you receive a call like this, hang up. Don't engage, don't press any buttons. Don't call back a number they give you. Just hang up. If you're worried it might have been legitimate, call Social Security directly at their official number, 1-800-772-1213. Third, be prepared just in case this does happen. Visit ssa.gov and verify your direct deposit information is correct and your address is current. If the government did send stimulus payments and your information is wrong, it could take months to sort out, just like some people experienced during the pandemic. Finally, watch for legitimate news from reliable sources, not just social media posts or YouTube videos making big promises. Now let me share some genuinely good news, things that are actually confirmed and will definitely happen. Starting in January 2025, your Social Security benefits are increasing by 2.5% due to the cost of living adjustment, or COLA. For the average beneficiary receiving $1,925 per month, that's an extra $48 per month, or $576 for the entire year. Now, I know that might not sound like a huge amount, especially with how much prices have increased, but it's guaranteed money that will arrive in your January payment. You should receive a letter in December showing your new benefit amount. This is an important document. Keep it with your other Social Security paperwork. You'll need it for your records, and it confirms exactly what you should expect in January. Here's more good news. Medicare Part B premiums are only increasing by about $10 per month in 2025. Some years that premium has jumped by $20 or $30, which eats up most of the COLA increase. But this year, because the increase is relatively small, more of your COLA raise stays in your pocket instead of going to Medicare. Let me do the math for you. If you're getting a $48 monthly COLA increase and Medicare is only taking about $10 of that, you're keeping roughly $38 more per month. That's $456 per year in actual additional money you can use. It's not life-changing, but it helps. One more time-sensitive reminder. Medicare open enrollment ends December 7th. That's coming up fast. This is your annual opportunity to review your coverage and make changes if needed. Plans change every year. Your medications might not be covered the same way, your doctors might not be in network, or your costs could go up. Take 30 minutes this week to review your options. It could save you hundreds or even thousands of dollars next year. Let me bring everything together so you know exactly where things stand right now. Here's what's certain and confirmed. Your November 12th Social Security payment is coming if you were born between the 1st and 10th of any month. That's happening in 2 days. Your January 2025 COLA increase of 2.5% is also guaranteed. That's law, it's done, and you'll see it in your first payment of the new year. Now here's what's not certain: the $2,000 stimulus payment. Despite what some videos claim, this is not confirmed, not approved, and not on its way. It's a statement from President Trump, not a law. No legislation has been introduced in Congress. No bill is being debated. No vote has been scheduled. Could it still happen? Technically, yes. Congress could act quickly if there's political will. We've seen it before during emergencies. But the timeline is extremely tight, 6 to 7 weeks until the end of 2025. And right now, nothing is moving forward. Here's the uncomfortable truth I need to share with you. Even if this payment eventually happens, the money comes from tariff revenue, and tariff revenue comes from higher prices you're already paying at the store. So this wouldn't be the government giving you free money. It would be returning some of what you've already spent on more expensive groceries, gas, and household goods. That doesn't mean $2,000 wouldn't help. Having money in your account is always better than not having it, but understanding where it comes from helps you see the bigger picture. My commitment to you is this: I will not hype unconfirmed payments to get views. I will tell you the truth even when it's not exciting. And the moment actual legislation is introduced, the moment there's real progress in Congress, I will update you immediately with facts, not speculation. Here's what you need to do right now to protect yourself and stay informed. First, verify your information with Social Security. Go to ssa.gov, that's the official government website, and make sure your direct deposit information and mailing address are current. If a payment does happen, you want to make sure it can reach you. If you haven't set up a My Social Security account yet, now is a good time to do it. Second, stay alert for scams. I cannot emphasize this enough. Scammers are already calling seniors claiming they need information to process stimulus payments. Remember, the government will never call asking for your Social Security number, bank account information, or any kind of payment to process your check. If someone calls claiming to be from Social Security or the Treasury Department asking for this information, hang up immediately. Then, if you want to verify anything, call Social Security directly at 1-800-772-1213. That's their official number. Third, be skeptical of clickbait. If you see videos or articles with titles like Trump's $2,000 check confirmed, payment dates released, that's misleading. Check official sources: ssa.gov for Social Security information, irs.gov for tax-related updates, and legitimate news outlets that cite specific legislation. Fourth, don't make financial decisions based on money that isn't in your account. I know times are tough. I know inflation has hit people on fixed incomes especially hard, but counting on money that may never arrive can lead to real financial problems. Finally, if you need help right now, there are programs that actually exist today. Many seniors qualify for SNAP food assistance, energy bill assistance, property tax relief, and state programs worth hundreds of dollars monthly. Don't wait for a payment that might not come when there's help available now. Before we wrap up, let me summarize the key points you need to remember. Your Social Security payment schedule is based on your birth date. November 12th for those born between the 1st and 10th, November 19th for the 11th through 20th, and November 26th for the 21st through 31st. These payments are guaranteed and happening. The $2,000 stimulus payment from President Trump is not confirmed. It's a proposal without legislation, without a congressional vote, and without any system in place to send payments. It may happen or it may not. Don't count on it for your financial planning. Your January COLA increase of 2.5% is confirmed and will appear in your first payment of 2025. That's real money you can count on. I want to ask you something important. Have you seen other videos or posts claiming this $2,000 payment is confirmed and on the way? Drop a comment below and let me know, because I think it's important we talk about how much misinformation is targeting seniors right now. Your experience might help someone else avoid falling for false promises or scams. If this video gave you honest information you can trust, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. I post updates on Social Security, Medicare, and benefit programs multiple times per week. and I promise to always tell you the truth rather than whatever gets the most clicks. Check out my next video about other benefits you might be missing. Programs like SNAP, energy assistance, and state benefits that exist right now and could put real money in your pocket this month, not someday maybe. Remember, you've earned your benefits. You've paid into the system your whole life. Make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to, but don't fall for promises about money that doesn't exist yet. Stay safe, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video.